All right, so can you get a deal today in 2022? And when I talk about a deal, I'm not talking about a car deal. I'm not talking about, some deal that you get at a restaurant. I'm talking about getting a house like for less than what it's listed for. And I think you can get a deal. You have to be strategic about it. And it's not like this, weird list that you have to go through, multiple sources online and then spend 6 months or 12 months to source and then you finally get a deal. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about a deal that's on the market, on the MLS, which is anything that you see on Redfin, Zillow, Trulia, Realtor.com. And how do you get that? Well, when you look at these types of sites, or you have a real estate agent that's sending you deals, sending you properties, and sometimes I'll use that word interchangeably, but when you get these properties that are sent to you, or you're looking on Zillow or Redfin, there's a couple of things to look for. So one is you got to look for days on market. So has there been a lot of days on market? Then you can start talking about, okay, well that's a problem for the seller. The seller wants to sell that thing. He or she doesn't want to keep that property on the market for a long time. So one thing you want to do is make sure that property is a lot longer on the market versus shorter. So if it's past, and I usually have a basis for past 30 days, then that piques my interest. If it's longer than that, then it piques my interest even more. But 30 days at least, especially in this market. And then the other thing that you want to look at is if they've had any price reductions. So if it's been 30 days on the market and they haven't had any price reductions, I would just keep looking, because that seller's still waiting for that property to, really have more days on the market to eventually now then decrease. So if they're a significant amount of days on the market, if they've had a price reduction, those are two big things. And then what about if it's fallen out of escrow? So you've seen it where it's been off the market, then it's come back on, then it's been off the market, then it's come back on. So that's another thing too to keep in mind. So if it's come on the market multiple times after being in escrow, that seller's just fed up. They're done. They want to be able to sell that property and then move wherever they're moving, or keep the cash and save it up for their next purchase later down the road. So that being said, if you've seen properties that have fallen out of escrow or come on the market multiple times, that's another time to pounce, to get into the market and buy that property. So, and granted, we can talk about the condition not being good and everything else, but these are three ways that people don't really see. Is one, if that property has been on the market for a long time, let's say 30 days or more, obviously the more better. Also, then if that person has not reduced the price, I would stay away from that. If the person's reduced the price, I would go after that property. And then also if the person's been in and out of escrow. So that's another thing as well, because then at that point, they don't want the phone calls anymore from their realtor. They just want one phone call from their realtor to say that they got an offer, they're going to accept it, go into escrow, and then they closed. So those are three hacks that you can really look into as you work with a real estate agent, or you're just looking on your own before you talk to a real estate agent. So if you guys have any questions on those hacks, just leave them below and then subscribe if you can. Thanks.